Welcome to Design Your CEO Life. I'm your host, Shay Cannon. I have designed my CEO life to live and work my business from anywhere in the world. I started this journey in Belize, lived in Mexico for a total of 5 years. Also, I was in Buenos Aires, Argentina, but I am truly living my best life just 3 blocks from the Caribbean Sea. But soon, as in very soon, I start my year-long tour of Southeast Asia. Exciting, right? Thank you for joining me as I share conversation and stories, strategies to help you live your CEO life. Hey, it's season 3. We did good work together in the first 2 seasons. Good as in he's a good man, Savannah. Except for we really did good because we know that was not a good man for Savannah, right? Waiting to exhale humor if you just didn't know. But I know my Gen X's, they know. But if you didn't know, we're on a mission this season. No more waiting, no more pretending. We're building businesses and lives that feel good for real. Okay? Also, you may peep a little change in the wardrobe style this season as I'm in crunch time for my transition from living in Mexico to my year-long tour of Southeast Asia. So I took styling off the table of my list of decisions to make, and I'm in my Steve Jobs era right now with a natural little makeup beat. So in other words, my minimalistic approach to wardrobe this season is going to be my logoed baby tees. And if you see this gray one, that means this is an odd episode number. And if you see the light coral one, like in episode 1, that's going to be the odd episode numbers, okay? No worries. The hairstyles, they're going to somewhat change up to help you to recognize this is a new episode. But yeah, I'm going minimalistic this season so that I can focus on the great content and not necessarily worrying on trying to dig through packing to find a great outfit, okay? So that's what we're doing. If you are new here, be sure to go back and check out the past seasons. We've been building up to this season 3 of Design Your CEO Life, and it's going to be next level. No fluff, no waiting, just radical ownership and unapologetic action. Okay? And remember, this is a conversation. It may seem one-sided because I'm the only one talking now, but you can talk back to me and I want to hear from you. Whether you're live in the comments or you're seeing the replay, I want you to tweet me. I want you to send me a thread response, put it on Facebook, put it on Instagram. I am at Shay Cannon, COO. That's SHACONNONCOO everywhere. Find me. Respond back to me. Let me know if you like the show. Do you agree with some of the things I have said? Do you disagree? Because I want to hear it all. Has anything changed? Anything for you that we talked about in this season? So I definitely want to hear from you. All right. Well, this is episode 2. Press play. So let's get into it. I've already said it before and it still applies. I am not team hustle. I don't believe being stuck on and living life in hustle mode. I'm not team no sleep. I am team mo sleep. I could use some more sleep right now. Okay. So just like fight or flight or high stress levels, other things that weigh heavily on the body and the mind, you are not supposed to be in a constant state of hustle. It is a temporary state used sparingly when needed. For that reason, you should not set your business or your life up where hustle is the default. Only use it when you need it. And the goal is that you don't need it often. Okay? So, fun, which is what I want you to have more of. That's what I meant by naming this episode Press Play. But fun is not frivolous. It's not. Somewhere along the way, society told us that play is for kids. Success is for serious grown folks. We are always busy and stressed. No, we don't want that. That's not success, okay? Success is just not that. So let me take my glasses off so that you can hear me better. All right. Because, well, not only do I call BS, bullish, not only that, but you should be adjusting your beliefs and understand that success is allowed to be fun. Did you hear that? Success is allowed to be fun. Moreover, you should see it as a superpower. Okay? Play is not the opposite of work, it's the fuel for doing your best work. So, who told you fun had to be earned? Because, spoiler alert, that voice that's in your head telling you stuff like that probably came from capitalism dressed up as grind culture. Yeah, so let me tell you a little story because I want you to stop and think just for a minute. When you hustle, is the result of that even your best work? Right? Because what I find is when I'm in hustle mode and I got to get stuff done and I don't feel like I have enough time, more than likely I may have procrastinated. I don't know. But whatever, I don't have enough time, but I got a lot to do. So I'm in hustle mode, right? Some of that output is not my best work. It is not working in excellence. Okay? No, really think about it. The work that you do when you're in hustle mode, it may pass muster, right? In the end, the client might even be satisfied. But deep down, don't you know that's not your best work? You know, right? Now, I would do a Cat Williams and say, don't worry, I'll wait. But no, I need you to understand that I don't even need you to answer out loud. You know it is not your best work. It's never your best work when you're in hustle mode. And if you stay in hustle mode, burnout is glorified and joy is minimalized. Yet the most successful and creative people, they make room for fun. Okay? Fun is not a distraction, it's a reset. Okay? I love when I think of business owners like Richard Branson. Okay, that's the Virgin brand, right? He is known for doing these outrageous, what is it? Stimulus inducing. It's another word for it, and I can't think of it right now. But he's always doing these things that are fun to him. They look horrifying to me because I don't want to drop out of planes and things like that as a way of fun. But he's doing all of these adrenaline. That's what I wanted. All of these adrenaline junkie things because that's fun for him. Those things reset him. Those things are more of the life that he wants to live, and so he focuses on them. He makes them a priority. He will leave business behind to do them. He makes it a part of his schedule to include them. And let me tell you how Richard getting kind of old. Sir Richard getting kind of old, but that man has lived. Okay? When we talk about your gravestone and we're talking about your birthday and your death date, that man has a dash in between. He got a life. So where's your life? You got to start incorporating fun. Okay? Fun is not a distraction, it's a reset. So play can equal access to your genius. Did you ever think about it like that? Let me explain it to you. See, when you allow for fun, you start creating room for creativity and innovation and restorative thinking. Because, sometimes our thinking can be a little wonky. As humans, we got a little monkey brain that's always telling us negative stuff to protect us. And that brain, that voice can be louder when we're not playing, when we haven't been well rested. So we want restorative thinking. It can help you with problem solving. It is so hard to solve a problem when you are already stressed out about so many things. Think about what they tell you. If you have a problem, step back from the problem and think about it. Most likely, a part of that step back needs to be some rest or some fun because that all resets your brain to be its best to help you to solve problems. And yeah, of course, it's going to bring you joy to have fun more often, okay? But your brain functions better when it's not under constant pressure. Let me break it down for you. In your brain, during times of play, the dopamine hits, the creativity spikes, and your problem solving improves. We want that cycle. We don't want to be in a constant fight or flight, stress ball. We're not going to be our best. We're not going to produce our best work. And do you know how many health problems that causes? I mean, disease is being in a state of dis-ease. And guess what? If you're a part of hustle culture where you're always under stress and you think that being stressed, all the time is where it's at, you're causing dis-ease. And your body is going to respond to that with what? Disease. Okay. So we have to create a norm of play and fun and rest, not a norm of stress. Okay. So let me give you a little proof too. I want you to think about this. Ever notice how sometimes you get your best ideas when you're in the shower or when you're on a walk? Just a regular walk, not really a walk with purpose, like you trying to hurry up and get somewhere, or even you're focused on getting somewhere. Just a walk, okay? What about while you dancing in the kitchen, while you fixing your food, right? Even if you fixing your food is heating it up. I don't mean you have to be a cook, because God knows I'm not cooking, haven't cooked in years, okay? But that's the science of play unlocking flow. When you allow yourself to just loosen up, okay? And be at rest, and then add in and infuse play to that. Yes, you are the physiology, the biology of it is just going to work in your favor. So when you're not working against your body by keeping it under stress, your body is working for you, and that includes your mind. Okay. The research shows that companies that allow creativity and play, they report higher innovation and higher team performance. So what you think is play that's a waste of time actually can boost productivity. So for solopreneurs like you are the company. So if your team, which if you're a solopreneur, your team is going to be your mind, your energy, your body, right? It's you. So if you fry you, if you overwork you and never play, guess what's going to suffer? You and your business. So let's start by redefining play as a grown-up CEO, okay? You're not gonna be out there maybe hopscotching or doing with Play-Doh unless that's your thing. Because if that's your thing, that play is good too. Okay, I got a couple of things that I like to do that's come from back in the day. But play as an adult, the activities that make you feel free, engaged, and curious. Okay, so it could be things as simple as travel. Right. So some of y'all are the worst boss you ever had to yourself. When was the last time you had a vacation to rest and explore? Okay. But it could be something as simple as cooking without a recipe. Now, I don't like to cook. Just not my thing. However, I can imagine that those of you that love to cook, one of the things that really makes it enjoyable is when you're no longer following this recipe and you're just kind of freewheeling it, right? You're just kind of free, you know what I'm saying? And you just put a little sprinkle here, right? Because some of the best cooks we know, it's hard for them to tell you what the measurements are. Where do you think we get words like a dollop and a pinch? It's because those people were not using real measurements. They giving you, how they do it and how they're cooking it with love and how they're using their intuition, and it's enjoyable for them. So maybe cooking without a recipe is one of the things you would enjoy. What about playing dress up? Okay, now I don't mean like we used to when we were little girls, right? And we would maybe get in our big sisters or our mother's clothing. I don't even mean that. I mean every now and then, go in your closet and line up some of your favorite outfits that make you feel good, and let's just try them on, okay? Like styling outfits for no reason at all but your own pleasure, okay? You can have an improv night. You can go to painting. You can journal without a specific, agenda. I know right now shadow work journaling is big, but that can be heavy. So I'm saying journal with no agenda at all. Just journal about something fun. What about taking the scenic route? when you're driving different places. Yeah, I know you got to get the kids to school sometime, but can we take a different route sometimes? Okay. One of the things that I love to do is I love to do a work from home day where I go somewhere and sit in a coffee shop or a restaurant, and I'll be there from lunch to dinner. And I'm working, but I get to people watch, I get to eat good food, probably have a margarita or two or four, okay? But I'm infusing fun. And that's what I want you to think about doing. So for me, I can take from my happiness list, which by now you know that list. I've told you to make of things that you can do to be happy daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, annually, and if you have to bring in the big guns from that bucket list. Okay, but you should have a happiness list where things can make you happy, not just at odd times, rare times, but you're infusing it all the time. Okay, so some of my daily happiness includes play. So I told y'all I take a dance break every now and then, get my body moving so I'm not always just sitting at this desk. Let me tell you what blew my mind, okay? I got this health ring. You know, it tells you your steps. And we all know, we've heard we should be walking 10,000 steps a day. And I'm thinking, well, I don't really go places that often. And I'm, more likely at the computer working. I might only have 3,000 steps and I need to work on that. Baby, I got this ring and looked at, I was doing only about 300 steps. Baby, I'm embarrassed. That lets me know I'm not infusing enough play, and especially play that has motion to it. So now, more often, I have those dance breaks, okay, where I get up and I dance. I put on my little music that makes me dance. I'm very intentional with it, and I dance as a break. Okay. Now I've even started trying to infuse a little exercise break around 2 o'clock. So instead of wanting to get some chocolate, let me get moving. All right. Let me tell you another thing that I'll do. Listen to my Sang It Girl playlist. Okay. I am good for giving an unpaid concert for my neighbors. I even intentionally play games. I have different games on my phone where I'm intentional about what I'm stimulating. Okay. So I have word games to stimulate my mind, like word search and, some versions of Scrabble. Scrabble got all these different versions now, and I love them all, just to let you know. But I know I'm stimulating brain and memory and all of that. Okay. I have games of strategy to sharpen my problem solving skills, like Tetris. And there's a game I have that where you have to, it tells you to give you 3 pins of this color, and you have to kind of dissect and dismantle an object. And you have to do it to completion where there's none of the object left before you run out of time, and before, you got to do it by the numbers that they're telling you to. So it takes strategy to get it right. I also have games that are less thinking and more restful for me anyway. So like we're going to say medium-sized puzzles. And I love them to be colorful. Sometimes they may be scenic of travels and stuff like that. But I like the medium-sized ones. Like it's not the big pieces, but it's also not the little small pieces. I feel like the small piece puzzles would stress me out. Now it feels like work. So I do about the medium-sized piece, and it feels good. And I pick a nice colorful picture and I put it together. I love it. Okay. Or even coloring. I still love to color. Okay. And I really feel like if I can find jacks, the little metal pieces in the ball where you drop the ball up and you pick the piece up before it comes down, it can only bounce once. If I could find those, I would play that. But the puzzle and the coloring I do on my iPad, and it's done digitally with my little Apple Pen and all of that. But it serves its purpose. So I am intentionally playing games and having joyful, fun moments, okay? Infuse them in your day. So business needs play too. It does. So when your business is too rigid, so are your results. But also, most of us did not create our own business not to enjoy it. So play introduces all the things we kind of think about when we think of freedom in our business. It should be enjoyable. Plus, play introduces flexibility, curiosity, and courage into your business model. So, and when you get a team, let me tell you how play can be a great morale booster. It can be great culture. I want you to think about some of the businesses that have gotten top rated, what do they call them? Best places to work, like Google, and how they have like the slide from a top floor to a bottom floor. And the businesses that are the most fun to work, they have the best production, like the research shows, but they have the happiest teams, employees, okay? People who, might not even take more money to leave this place because money can't buy that environment and that culture. So we got to start thinking like that, okay? You make better decisions when you're not desperately just gripping the steering wheel with a white knuckle, okay? Because to me, that's how I see hustle. I just see it. It's always, oh, okay? When you loosen the grip to include fun, that's when clarity comes. Play lets you test new offers without feeling the pressure of being perfect. Play lets you market more authentically because you're not afraid to show up as your fun self or your different self or show your little weird, okay? Connect with your audience through storytelling and joy. Because if you're not out here playing and having fun, what are the stories that you're telling? It helps you to pivot when you need without spiraling out. What are the kids calling now? Without crashing out, okay? So fun is important. And an element of fun can be spontaneity, and that can unlock speed and flow. So play helps you escape overthinking and perfectionism, two big problems and momentum killers in business. I ought to know because I tend to do both, and I have to bring myself back. So when you're too structured, you don't give yourself room to surprise yourself or to be innovative. So spontaneity doesn't mean chaos. It means trusting your intuition enough to experiment. That launch you got planned, try a fun version of the launch. Those emails that you need to send, write them like you're talking to your bestie client, okay? The client meeting, add some personality, some joy, add a little more you, okay? Because the real definition of success, it includes joy. Listen, if your life looks successful on the outside but feels empty on the inside, you didn't make it. You built a performance. Joy is not a bonus, it's a metric. It should be something you're using to measure your success. How fun was it? How much joy did it bring you? Okay? The new measure of success is how often do you laugh? How deeply do you love your work? And how freely do you live? So let's be clear. Play is not a luxury. It's a leadership tool. You're not doing it just for fun. You're doing it to fuel your genius, your joy, and your journey, right? All of that, that's your purpose. But you should enjoy your purpose. So I want to give you some actionable steps to inject more play into your life and your business. So number one, or step one, give yourself permission. We've been so indoctrinated to be booked and busy. Give yourself permission. Permission to have fun, like real fun, not fake fun. And I want you to schedule it into your agenda. Make it a thing that's a part of your processes. You don't need to earn joy. You just need to prioritize it. Okay, so that's step one. Give yourself permission. Step two, schedule creative recess. That's what we had in school, right? When I was in school, recess was one of my favorite subjects, right? Recess. So once a week, block time to play. Non-productive, just for you to play. Okay? No goals, just vibes. It's like recess for your brain. Okay? Step three, let play inform strategy. Start noticing how play impacts your mood, your ideas, your content, and execution. I know that play really inspires my content. It's why I can tell people when I hear my Southern accent and I say, oh, that word might not have come across as clearly. And so I tell them, hey, in case the Alabama got in the way, and I spell it, right? That's a little playful thing. I allow myself to be myself and I give myself grace, but I'm having fun with it. I don't feel the stress of it. So ask yourself regularly, am I in flow or am I forcing it? Use play as a strategic decision filter. What would make this more fun? Okay. Step 4, our final step. Bring joy into your systems. Your client experience should be fun for them and you. Your process, make sure that you are interjecting or injecting your personality and some lightness. Everything doesn't have to be heavy and feel like a burden and feel like work. Okay? Even your internal operations should have moments of celebration. Okay, this is why we have things in phases so we can celebrate milestones. Maybe that's when you take your dance break, when you achieve a milestone. Now that I've equipped you with strategies to add more play, it's time for your challenge. You know, we're doing challenges this season. So I challenge you to make a list of things you used to love doing before you got too busy for it. This will be your fun list. So it needs to be at least 10 things you love doing that have nothing to do with productivity. Okay. Then I want you, or I challenge you, to do a fun thing daily, is what I would love for you to do. But we're going to start off with weekly. Okay. I don't want to take it too far too fast. I challenge you to do a fun thing weekly. So schedule one item from your fun list starting this week. Create a weekly fun block of time in your daily schedule. So start with about 30 minutes. Put it on your calendar like you put those meetings, okay? I want you to think of this time slot as just as important as a high-paying client meeting. Last but not least, I challenge you to make it a habit to ask yourself, where can I add more play in my business? Can I add it more in my messaging? Can I add it more in my service delivery? Can I add it more into the marketing or even the operations internally? Where can I add more play in my business? I challenge you, okay? Sometimes we can predict when times will be a little bit stressful in the business, like maybe lunchtime is stressful for you, maybe a sales event is stressful for you. But anytime we can predict a time where we could be a ball of stress, why not add as a part of our process, replacing pressure with play? Or in the very least, add play in between the stressful events to at least break up the stress. Start thinking that way. Play is the ultimate hack, y'all. Okay? The ultimate hack. It lowers resistance, boosts creativity, and makes the whole thing, business, life, actually worth doing. Yes, I am a CEO, but I provide award-winning fractional chief operating officer services to an exclusive clientele of 6 and 7-figure CEOs. I've been featured by Time Magazine, Delta Airlines, Fast Company, Thrive Global, and more. But I use my superpowers to position Black and brown female online service-based entrepreneurs to their first 6 figures with a focus on, guess what? Time freedom. If that's you, I love to invite you to a free group where we build community, create collaborations, and have conversations to provide you with transformational business growth. Go to shaycannon.info/group and join us today. Well, that's all for this episode. It's been a pleasure having you tune in. So, CEO, go design a life worth living. Bye for now.